It's true there's no losing, only learning. But do you know how to learn? You've reached Talking with Dr. Terry, 180 Seconds to a Better You, message number 149. I'm Dr. Terry Wurzbacher, and this call is dedicated to Karen, who takes most of what I say and elaborates on it in a much better way than I can, and I'm so appreciative, Karen. Last week she commented that she was intrigued at the way I analyzed my experiences and learned from them. Then she delivered a bombshell. She said, I know Dr. Gilbert says there's no winning and losing, only winning and learning, but we need to learn how to learn. That resonated so deeply with me that I knew I had to do this entire call on it. I was a victim of doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results dilemma. I call it a dilemma because I knew I was stuck in the rinse and repeat cycle, and yet I didn't know where the off switch was. This has happened all my life, but I didn't think there was any way out of it. But when it comes to vol state, I knew there had to be a way out. The same thing happened to me year after year. I would need a crew halfway through. It became the conditioned response. In 2021, I think, is when I finally realized that 90% or more of my problem was because of mental processing. I knew then that wishing and hoping that it would change and next year I'd do better wasn't going to work. It hadn't worked yet. Why should it now? That's when I actively sought out teachers of mental discipline so I could change how I was thinking. The rest is history, as they say, thanks to Dr. Gilbert and Brian Cain. This is why it's so important to me to look at what I'm doing or at what I've done. Then I ask myself, what went into that behavior, thought-wise and preparation-wise? Then I do the things that others like Dr. Gilbert and Brian Cain talk about. What went well, what didn't go well, and what needs to be changed. But I also try to look at why things happen. I find that with my messages, so many people say, you just have to do X, and I balk at that. I balk because it's just not that easy for everyone. If you understand the background and the reasons for the thought and the behavior, then you can start to make changes at the core, not just on the surface. To me, that's why IFS is so successful. I learned to say affirmations over 40 years ago, but until I was able to see what had happened in my life to create the patterns that compromised my life, the affirmations were just like pouring more asphalt on the road instead of digging down to the dirt and starting over. Sometimes it works, but usually not for a very long time, and often it doesn't work well at all. You see more cracks in the asphalt. That's why knowledge about why you do things is so important. It's not just a cute, catchy phrase that will help you solve your problem long term. If doctors never understood why people got polio or even COVID, they would never have been able to find a vaccine. They just continue to treat it symptomatically. Learn how to learn. Become an archaeologist and dig deep. And have a diamond day.